How did a small Uruguayan sleepy fishing village become one of the richest beach resorts in South America? If you're new to my channel, I'm Stu. I'm a backpacker from the northeast of England, traveling around as much of South America as I can in 6 months. And today it's day 35 and I'm now in Punta del Este. So the history of this place is basically it started off as a small fishing settlement in the early 1800s. And this is actually a peninsula, as you can see in the map, jutting out to the sea. And on that side of the peninsula, you've got the wild waves of the Atlantic crashing down, perfect for surfers. And then on that side, it is smooth beach and chilled. So in the mid 19th century, people in the Uruguayan capital, Montevideo, heard about this place. They wanted a bit of sea, they wanted some fresh air and space, so they came over here and they started building holiday homes. And then in the early 20th century, Buenos Aires in Argentina found out about this place, and then boom, it changed. They built casinos, they started building high-rise luxury apartments, and in the 50s, 60s, this place was a jet-set, Monaco-style, yacht-based place where you had millionaires, stars of the day coming here, and you can just feel the money pouring it. So I am going to go around, see as much of Punta del Este as I can, starting with this place. And this is one of the most photographed thing in this city, and I've just realised I don't know how to get across to it. Right, let's get closer. And already you can see the crowds. Oh my god, there's a lot of people. So this is La Mano. It is a structure built by a Chilean artist in 1982, and it was only meant to be a temporary structure, but as you can see by the amount of people, it's Instagram friendly, and trying to get a photograph without anybody in front of you is impossible. Look at them posing. Now it's meant to represent human versus nature and human vulnerability. That's what I read. It just looks like a hand sticking out, the thumb. So just walking around, I've been trying to work out which hand it is, and it is the right hand. So you do get a lot of people standing there with their right hand holding up. And then you've got the wild side of the peninsula, even though you've got lots of people on the beach itself. Now I went for a run this morning, crazy, 5 kilometers. I did the whole peninsula, and that's when I actually noticed the difference between sort of this side and then the other side where it was more calmer. And you probably find there's more people across over there at the moment. So this side is more surfing, because you can see the waves are perfect for doing surfing type tricks. I'm not a surfer, you can tell. You've still got plenty of people swimming. Yeah, so that was La Mano. So obviously you've got La Mano there, but across the road you've got so many other structures, art going on over here, yet there's not one single person taking photographs. So they used to have lots of art exhibitions in the city, way back in the 80s when this was super cool. And these are leftovers from that period. And when I was running down this path this morning, about 8 o'clock-ish, heading that way towards Mano, even then there were so many people taking photographs at 8 o'clock in the morning. So it's like all day, every day, click, click, Instagram. So I'm just walking further up and you can see by the buildings, there's a lot of modern ones, but then you go further up and then you got something that looks like a flashback of the 70s. And this was probably built in the 70s when Punta del Este was going through its international playground of the rich and famous. Well, there's a museum just over there. It's actually a surf club museum. And next door to it is a surf shop. I think I might just give that a miss. So I was heading out a little bit from the peninsula because I saw the old buildings this morning for a run, but I've come back in, and on this side, and I'm going to try and zoom in, you've got the wild Atlantic waves, and then I think this is the thinnest part of the peninsula. You've got the calm side. So this is where I'm going to have a wander down now. Just show you the chilled beaches. Already you can see how calm the sea is from this side. And the beach over there, oh, so many people. Busier than the other side with the wilder waves. Now in the background there you can see a few cruise liners. And then going down the marina. So in the background next to the cruise liners is Isla Goretti, and that was in the 1700s a Spanish military fort, which then got turned into a prison island. But today it's just lots of sandy beaches around, and it's a little bit too far to swim across to. But you've got some windsurfers going across there. I suppose if you're rich enough to have a jet ski, which I'm sure lots of people around here will have. As you can imagine, with the peninsula just being a little bit of land stuck out into the sea, that when they wanted to start building these beautiful places, the land price would have gone through the roof. But some of these apartments, they're beautiful, they're amazing. And you can imagine how much these places cost. Well, I can't. I can just afford the £8 hostel that I'm staying in overnight. And then you've got this little jetty, original. Oh, so beautiful around here. So I'm outside the marina and you can't really get in, or at least I don't think you can. There doesn't seem to be much security, and I've just squeezed through this barrier. And this is where the money is. There seems to be security. I'll find out if I can go in or not. So behind me is like 5 or 6 security guys. They've just sort of watched me come in. They must think I'm rich, or we're allowed to come through. But look at the skyline. Wow. I think I am allowed here. Got a little sign saying about fur seals, to say that keep away, but they're not aggressive. So I'm hoping to see some So you've got a little square here. And all around. Oh my God, some of these boats. Look at them. Do you reckon I could borrow one? And I have found some sea lions in the water. So here they're cutting up some fish. Oh, nearly fell there. I don't want to fall straight into the water. But look at them. They're just waiting for the scraps. Wow. Now I've got closer. Oh, bless them. I mean, that old one is just waiting for anything. Now I've just come down one of the main strands to get a better view of the marina as a whole from the little boats. They're still expensive, to the bigger boats. And as I came down, there is security at the very end where a guy was checking people's passes. I just went, "Hello, do you speak English?" And he went, no, come through. Okay. There is military police as well. So this is really protected. I don't know how I've got through. That's about my sort of price range, that little, well, I say price range. It's a small boat, but it's beautiful. You can smell the money. Now, I am hungry, and today so far has been a cheap day. The hostel tonight is costing me £8. I had breakfast this morning from a small shop where it was just bakeries and it's coffee. Came to about £4. And across there is a cafe, restaurant. And I have had a few comments from videos that I've done saying that Uruguay has this thing where international bank cards get discount. 15%, and I've seen some signs come down the peninsula where it has 15% for bank cards, 25% on gold member bank cards. I'm not that rich. So I'm tempted to go across to see if it works, just because I'm hungry. Right, so I've just come to Artico, the fast seafood place. There's a menu just in there, which is this one, and I've worked out it's going to cost me about, just for chips on its own, about £3.90, and that's without a drink. But I'm thirsty as well, so I'm going to grab the Coke and I'm just going to go for some small chips just to say that I've eaten here. So to the people around me, I could be just a European that just popped in on his boat before he goes off to one of his apartments, and I've just got a Coke with loads of chips. So that all came to $355. Now, if I have got this discount on my international card, I actually won't see it until on my bank statement, because I've got no Wi-Fi and I'm trying to save my SIM card. I won't be able to find out until I get back to the hostel, but I'm going to enjoy this. It's money well spent and I feel rich. So them chips and the Coke has filled me up. It's a good sized portion, quite impressed. But I've left there and I've come to near the edge, the viewpoint of the peninsula. But I thought it's coming along here because I saw it in the background. It's a lighthouse, but I'm going to go around the front of it. And this is one of the things I saw this morning while I was huffing and puffing my way around. So because you think that you're at the edge of the peninsula, that there'd be lots of very expensive buildings, apartments, but it's not. It feels more quieter. Oh, and there's the church I've been past this morning. Oh, and the tourist bus. So the lighthouse, which is still operational today, was built in 1860, made from volcanic rock that was brought in from Europe. And it is one of the oldest structures in Punta del Este. But I'm going to have a look at this church as well. I mean, the tourists don't seem that interested. In front of the church and the lighthouse is the meteorological station. That looks quite old, but I would guess it's modernish. But a big sign there saying do not trespass, so I won't. And this looks like the original church as well. As I said, the area is as it would have been in the olden days before money took over. So the Church of the Candelaria, it's late 19th century, still active today, the oldest religious building in Punta. Gonna have a little wander in. I'm gonna take my hat off. Yep, it's a church. A 5-minute walk takes you down to here, which is the very edge of the peninsula, and you can see where it's marked with the Uruguayan flag flying in the wind and some amazing houses. So I'm just going to walk down there just to say I've been there and I'm here. It's very windy, well, you can tell by the flag, and this is it, the very edge. So you can see the wild side of the Atlantic over there, and then you can't see much of it on that side, but the calmer beaches, and it's marked on the floor by mosaics. Oh, there's a little sign. You are at the southernmost point of Uruguay. This is the place where the waters from the Rio de la Plata and the Atlantic Ocean meet. Wow. So here you go. The flag flipping away. So that was Punta del Este, a place a week and a half ago I've never even heard of, and I think that majority of people watching this video will be exactly the same, from Europe, Australia, USA. And when you think of Uruguay, you automatically just think of the capital, Montevideo, and that's why I go travelling off the beaten track, to find places like this, to be educated, fascinated, and just learn more about the country I go to. and it has been just such an amazing place that I am so tempted just to stay one more day, but this time no YouTube. I don't know, only because the price of the hostel, cheap breakfast, I could find some cheap lunch. I could actually save money being in a Millionaire's playground. Makes no sense. But if you've enjoyed this video, then all you got to do is press that like. Find out what I'm going to be doing next by subscribing. But after the 5k run and lots of steps today, my feet are feeling a bit tender, so I'm going back to the hostel. So until next time, bye bye for now.